For my TOK project, I wanted to explore the effects of bias and miscommunication and how they affect personal and shared knowledge. And in order to do so, I wanted to create a social experiment where I use the topic of safe spaces. And what basically happens is I advertise them the way that people or young students who advocate for safe spaces usually do. So for my social experiment, I wanted to hide the other side of the debate of whether safe spaces should be implemented into every colleges. Student advocates who support safe spaces present it in a way where all the information is more sugar coated, and what people don't really know is that safe spaces are more of a controversial topic. So there are more than one side of this argument, and many people who encounter this without any personal inventory about this, they would probably support the cause without seeing the negative effects. The first step of the process is explaining to the person who are interviewing what a safe space is. And basically what a safe space is a place where people who have traumatizing histories or are really sensitive to certain topics, basically they could find a place where they can find comfort and basically recover from triggering moments or statements. After hearing the interviewee's first response, I then will explain to them the opposing side to this very controversial debate, which is that safe spaces are being abused and that they are there to limit freedom of speech and promote censorship in the academic debate setting, which is not good for colleges. And in my second question, I would ask the interviewee what their thoughts are on the limitations of freedom of speech, and follow that up with the third question asking whether they would still support it even if they did not have knowledge of the second side of the debate of safe spaces. And here are my results.
Um, I mean, they're really beneficial for students who've been through like traumatic experiences and everything. And I think, well, if anything, it's more important the opinion of people who actually have had those traumatic experiences. So I think that for a campus to um, have that available for students, I think that's going to be like um, points up for the college because it's really great that they listen to their students and understand like what they've got. Honestly, with any idea, there's some people who are gonna be abusing it or anything, and I think that just because some people are gonna be abusing it and everything, I don't think that it should be restricted from students who actually will benefit from it. Um, I don't know. I think I would need like more information on the topic, or more information about like how many like times it's actually used for that and everything, and then like how many schools already have it.
I think they're a good idea. I don't see any bad outcomes that could occur from them with schools. Okay, I think that having that censorship is actually bad because you don't get exposure to different things. And I think you need that exposure to be able to grow as a person. But I do think that it could prevent certain types of fights, maybe. But overall, I think it might be bad then because you are preventing that exposure to different things. And
Okay.
yes, I did.
Well, when I think of safe spaces, I think they are actually a really good idea to be implemented in like different places like colleges, because you always have to be aware that there's people out there that have trauma and have things in the past have happened to them, and yeah, I think they should be implemented. Well, if in that case, if they're kind of just like using it to attack the other person, like on their political beliefs, I guess their there should be like monitoring them. I would think that they're not. Shouldn't be. Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
I think safe spaces are like somewhere where like someone can go and like relax if something bad has happened, and I think they're pretty good for like everyone. I think that there should be different safe spaces for someone. Yes, people deserve safe spaces, but I don't think it should be abused as much. Yeah, I think I would.
I actually think they're very important, especially for adolescents. Oh gosh, now that I'm on camera, I know that I'm getting all nervous. Especially for adolescents, you know, sometimes their home life might not be good. They might feel like they're in a persecuted group. I absolutely do think safe spaces, especially for adolescents that maybe haven't learned how to find their people in life, that they have places they know where they could go to and not be persecuted. Well, I think anything has a potential to be abused. Even good things have a potential to be abused. And of course, we're going to disagree with people. And of course, sometimes political correctness can get so far over to one side that people are afraid to express their own views. But I don't think somebody's safe space is necessarily going to infringe on the rights of somebody else. I just think we need to work together to become more understanding of people, but safe spaces are not going to hurt anybody. Absolutely support, because even with the perceived abuses they might do, we're talking about maybe hurting somebody's feelings or having somebody's rights feeling like they weren't respected, but somebody having a true safe place they could go to and not feel persecuted. And to me, that's much more important than anything else.
I think safe spaces are a great idea because you don't really understand people's story, and if they have a certain way of coping, and if their way of coping is going to a safe place, then I think that's the best idea for them, so they can feel safe and secure. I think that everyone should be entitled to their own opinion, and if you think that you can't be able to speak up for what you believe in, then you need to figure out a new way to speak up for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy, and if you want your voice to be heard, you need to speak up. If I would have never known that it's being abused, I would still support it, but if the thing is that if people don't share this kind of information, then people just start supporting stuff that it's like, oh, this isn't what I supported, or this isn't what I think that is a good idea for the school overall. So if you're gonna create like a thing such as safe space, you should actually say what the actual purpose is.
Well, the thing that I think about safe space is that if you're really having trouble like being comfortable with other people, like having stressful situations, just go to a safe place, you calm down, just come back. It's like what you're trying to say is that like you're trying to like forget about the other person's opinion, just try to move on.
No, it doesn't. Well, in a way,
In a way.
something like that.
Well, if you're getting abused like that, you know, like it's not right. You know, you never hear like other people's opinion about certain things. Well, with some people that have like really serious like disorders about being calm with other people or like stressful situations, I wouldn't oppose them. Like, you know, it's their happy place to try to feel better, like get better vibes. So they won't like freak out when they're like in stressful situations. So I wouldn't oppose it.
Safe spaces are necessary places on college campuses. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what's happening on the internet too, right? So like Facebook and all those things, like it's really easy to kind of get a tunnel vision, right?
Yes.
It's kind of surprising how people on Infowars are, there's so many strange conspiracy theories that people kind of buy into, but. And that's not to say that there are a lot of toxic communities, and like there are some places on college campuses where like the opinions get a little radical. But as a whole, the idea of a safe space is not to promote that, right? The idea of a safe space is to have a place where you can say something risky without fear, so that you can be so you can just kind of express your opinions without any fear. I think that is a good thing.
I think that it is a wonderful idea that students have a place where they could really express themselves, a place that's safe where they can get support and be encouraged to use their experiences in a way that is empowering them. Then I think that it's something that needs to be looked at and revised, and to see why it's being abused, how it's being abused, and find ways to find a solution for that, because that's very unfortunate. I think that it sounds like a program that's very necessary, and if it's being abused, then we need to look at it all over again and see what we could do to fix that, so it's not that kind of abusive space, because then it's doing the opposite of what we want it to do. So I say put a stop to it for now, and then have it investigated and see what could be done to fix it. I think I would still support it if I thought that it was being used in a productive way for students to be empowered, but now that I know it's being abused, I would want to put a stop to it.